Sleep is essential for the body to complete vital cellular processes to ensure optimal mental and physical functioning. Disruptions to these processes from poor sleep quality can impact an individual's ability to function both physically and mentally and can significantly impact quality of life. Recently, due to large-scale adoption of mobile phone use amongst the world's population, studies have focused on how smartphone use can affect sleep. A study done by Rafiki et al. In 2020 highlighted two possible mechanisms in which smartphone use can affect sleep: blue light exposure and radio frequency electromagnetic fields. Their research found that exposure to blue light decreases melatonin production, leading to altered circadian rhythms, whilst research by Tadamanti et al. Into radio frequency electromagnetic fields emitted by smartphones found that exposure can cause changes in sleep cycles. Several studies have been conducted to evaluate blue light exposure and its effects on sleep. Nian et al. Assessed the impacts of blue light emitting device use on medical students prior to bed. The study evaluated the perceptions medical students had of the exposure from device use and its effects on the quality of sleep. This study did not factor in if blue light filters were on during device use. A second study by Heo et al. Did measure smartphone use with and without the use of blue light filters, concluding exposure to blue light from smartphones may negatively impact sleep. However, quality of sleep was not measured. Lastly, Janku et al. Measured blue light exposure and quality of sleep. However, the study did not consider how smartphone use affects quality of sleep. With the limitations of these previous studies in mind, our research project aims to explore if blue light exposure from smartphone use by university students prior to bed has an effect on their sleep quality, and whether the use of a blue light filter can negate this. Our research hypotheses are: firstly, it is expected that students who use their devices more in the hours prior to sleep will have reduced sleep quality compared to their peers who have less exposure. Secondly, it is expected that among those students who do use their devices more in the hours prior to sleep, those who do not use a blue light filter will have reduced sleep quality compared to those who do use a blue light filter.
A cross-sectional analytical study design encompassing both qualitative and quantitative components was chosen for this study. A survey was designed with quantitative questions asking about sleep duration, quality of sleep, device use, the use of a blue light filter, whilst qualitative questions asked why participants used their devices the way they did, and if they did not use a blue light filter, why not. The strength of a survey design is cost-effectiveness, negligible risk, ease of use, while still supplying large amounts of high-quality data. Limitations of a survey study design is participant responses are susceptible to recall and other biases. Our original hypothesis was students who use their devices more prior to bed will have poorer quality of sleep than those with less use, and those who use a blue light filter will have a better quality of sleep over those who do not use a blue light filter. However, due to omissions within the data collection process, we have slightly revised our hypothesis to: students who do not engage in direct screen time before bed will have a better quality of sleep than those who do. Students who use a blue light filter will have better sleep quality than those who do not use a blue light filter. The target population of this study was students studying at James Cook University, while students enrolled in HS2405 and HS3401 make up the actual population. Convenience sampling was used for this study, with HS2405 and HS3401 class discussion boards used for recruitment. A total of 34 students completed the survey, making up the sample population. Of those, 28 are enrolled in HS2405 and 6 are enrolled in HS3401. Only one respondent listed themselves as enrolled in speech pathology, while the rest of the respondents listed themselves as enrolled in occupational therapy, physiotherapy, or left that section blank in the survey. Of the 34 respondents, 7 were male and 27 were female. Ages ranged from 18 to 48, with the mean average of age being 22.15 and a median age of 20. Students were excluded from the study if they were not enrolled in HS2405 or 3401. The survey was open for a 2-week period. Details of the study were posted on the HS2405 and HS3401 class discussion board, where students who wanted to participate could click on the provided link to complete the anonymous online survey via Google Forms. The survey consisted of the following questions. What year of study are you in at James Cook University? Are you currently enrolled in HS2405 or HS3401? If yes to the previous question, which bachelor's degree are you currently enrolled in? What is your age? What is your sex? Do you use a blue light filter on your phone? If you selected no to using a blue light filter on your phone, please explain why. On your mobile device, please state which of the following activities you usually do just before you go off to sleep. Please provide the reasons for which you use that particular application on your phone before bed. What is your average time you go to bed? What is the average amount of hours you sleep each night? How well rested do you feel when you wake up?
Qualitative data was collected via responses to 3 survey questions. The first being, on your mobile device, please state which of the following activities you usually do just before you go to sleep. Although the answers were categorical and nominal in nature, the multiple and varied responses were more suitable for qualitative rather than quantitative analysis. The second question was, please provide the reasons for which you use that particular application on your mobile device before bed. The third question, which was only asked of respondents who indicated that they did not use a blue light filter on their mobile device, was, if you do not use a blue light filter on your mobile device, please state why. The responses to these questions were entered into a matrix for further analysis as per the example shown here. The answers were coded and then similar or related codes grouped into categories which were used to identify themes in the data.
Anonymity and confidentiality were a big factor around choosing a survey study design. To address this concern, the participants completed the study electronically in private with no exchange of personal details of anyone involved in this study. The survey did not ask for any identifiable personal information. Biographical data only included age, gender, year of study at James Cook University, and degree currently being studied. General questions were then asked about device use and sleep quality. Due to these methods being used, the researchers have no idea who completed the study, thus addressing and maintaining confidentiality, autonomy, and anonymity of the participants.
For the quantitative section, the SPSS software was used to statistically analyze the results and draw conclusions about the effects of using the blue light filter in regards to sleep quantity and quality. The sample population consisted of 10 physiotherapy students, 1 speech pathology student, and 16 occupational therapy students, where their ages ranged between 18 to 48 years of age. For the physiotherapy students, the mean age was 21, with 3 identifying as male and 7 identifying as female. The speech pathology student identifies as female and is 20 years of age. The occupational therapy students have a mean age of 23, where 3 identify as male and 13 identify as female. These students are either enrolled in HS2405 or HS2401. When comparing the use of blue light filter to how well rested the students rated their sleep each night, it was found after statistical analysis there was little difference between those who said yes using the blue light filter and those who said they do not. The mean rating of sleep was 5.44 and standard deviation of 2.093 for those who said yes to using the filter, and a mean sleep rating of 5.63 and a standard deviation of 1.928 for those who said no. When comparing how well rested the students feel when they wake up and the average amount of hours of sleep they get each night, it was found that there was no correlation or relationship. This is because there is no distinct trend to show that the amount of sleep a student gets each night affects how well rested the student feels in the morning. Therefore, this data is considered to be insignificant. The statistical analysis performed to compare the amount of hours of sleep the student gets each night and the use of the blue light filter showed no significant difference. The mean number of hours of sleep for this analysis was 3.11 for the students who do use the blue light filter and 3.13 for those who did not use the filter. This means that the majority of the students chose option 3, which indicates an average of 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Therefore, this demonstrates that using the blue light filter does not affect the number of hours of sleep the students get each night. However, when we compare the amount of hours of sleep each night and each discipline, the physiotherapy students have a mean of 3.3 and the speech pathology student had a mean of 3, which means that the average option selected was 6 to 8 hours of sleep for these 2 disciplines. Furthermore, the occupational therapy students have a mean of 2.875, which means that, due to more students selecting option 3 in the raw data, the average amount of hours slept was the 6 to 8 hour option. However, this is insignificant due to there being a large difference in the number of students in each discipline, making it hard to determine whether this information is accurate. When comparing age and the average number of hours of sleep, option 1, 1 to 3 hours, and 5, 10 plus hours were not selected by any of the participants. As a result, for 3 to 6 hours and 6 to 8 hours, the average age was 22 years old, and 8 to 10 hours, the average age was 21 years old. When we looked at device exposure and sleep quality, 2 participants recorded no screen time and had a mean quality of sleep rating of 6, compared with 32 participants who used their devices who had a mean quality of sleep rating of 5.5. Therefore, these results are statistically insignificant. Lastly, when comparing gender with average amount of hours of sleep, it was seen that the female students recorded a decreased amount of hours of sleep compared to their male counterparts. However, due to there being a large amount of female students compared to the male students, this data is considered to be insignificant. When viewing the survey responses, it was found that 7 students did not answer which discipline they are enrolled in, and 3 did not state their age. Therefore, these have been excluded from the data. As a result of these tests, it can be seen that using the blue light filter has little effect on the quality and quantity of sleep for university students enrolled in HS2405 or HS3401.
The data showed that there are 2 main themes that resulted in participants not using a blue light filter on their mobile device. A lack of knowledge about the existence of blue light filters, or the participants are aware of blue light filters but do not see any benefit in using them. The self-reported reasons for using a mobile device typically fell into one or more of 3 key themes: using the device for leisure, winding down or relaxation, and social connection. The type of mobile device use was dominated by social media and video/television watching, followed by peer-to-peer communication and reading e-print or listening to audio. Mobile phone use before sleep was highly prevalent within the sample group, with only 1 respondent out of 34 indicating that they purposefully did not use their mobile phone before sleep.
It was hypothesized that students who use their devices more in the hours prior to sleep will have reduced sleep quality compared to their peers who have less exposure. Of the 34 students that participated in the study, only 2 did not engage in direct screen time before bed. Those who did not use their phone reported their sleep to be slightly better than those who did use their phone. However, this was not statistically significant, as we only had 2 participants who did not look at their phone before bed. A previous study by Chital J et al. Concluded that poor sleep outcomes were only linked to high phone exposure groups, whereby in our study it was not measured due to the small sample size. It is highly unlikely that any of the participants have regular high exposure to screen time. This is most likely the explanation as to why our study showed no statistical correlation between sleep quality and mobile phone usage. Chital J et al. Concluded the differences are most likely due to other lifestyle factors. Additionally, it was hypothesized that those students who use their devices in the hours prior to sleep, who did not use a blue light filter, would have reduced sleep quality compared to those who did use the blue light filter. The study found that on average, those who used the blue light filter self-reported their sleep to be slightly worse than those who did not use the blue light filter. This difference, however, was not statistically significant and was interpreted as the 2 groups showing no notable difference in sleep quality. When comparing our findings to the literature, this can be explained by having a small homogeneous sample. Our sample did not have the variety of people as those used in the literature, and as a result, our study showed negligible difference in sleep outcomes between participants. As discussed in the study design, using a mixed method study design has many inherent strengths. However, the execution of the study showed which of those strengths were realized and which aspects of the study could have been redone in a way that would have produced more insightful results. Most evidently, the study method did allow for easy recruitment of 34 participants into the study. This is a large sample, considering the population, and the fact it was expected that not everyone in the population would be able to participate in the study, demonstrating the survey had high ease of participation. The study was limited by the fact that we were unable to objectively track how much time participants were on their phone and the true quality of their sleep. This has limited the accuracy of our findings but also introduced ambiguity in interpreting results, as one participant rating their sleep 5 out of 10 objectively may not be equal to another student's 5 out of 10 sleep. This limited the study to the certainty of which we could draw relationships from the data. However, the study design did prove very effective as an easy way for participants to communicate why they use their phones and why they do not use a blue light filter. This aspect of the study produced clear trends and paves the way for future studies to utilize a survey design which extracts mass understanding on how people use their phones.
Mobile device usage prior to sleep is a common behavior shared by students globally. This habit may cause sleep loss, irregular sleep patterns, inability to achieve REM sleep, and loss of cognitive function during the day. Understanding the relationship between mobile phone usage and sleep allows researchers to develop recommendations for healthcare professionals to raise awareness about these negative behaviors. Proper sleep is especially important for students, as a distinct lack of sleep has been linked to depression and anxiety. Mobile usage during bedtime after the lights have been turned off directly affects the quality of sleep through multiple factors. Mobile phones now give people access to the internet, social media, games, and videos. Exposure to these stimulating factors develops addictive behaviors, contributing to a person's inability to effectively fall asleep. A key component in reducing stimulation is a blue light filter. A blue light filter is a feature that has been built into many mobile devices since the early 2000s. It works to decrease the amount of blue light displayed on the screen of the device. As acknowledged earlier, blue light suppresses the production of melatonin, a sleep-inducing hormone. Filtering out a device's blue light reduces strain on a person's eyes, improves the production of melatonin, increasing the quality of sleep. The need for research into the relationship of a blue light filter and sleep is necessary to discover new strategies for healthcare professionals, as this allows them to implement clinically based strategies to enhance a person's quality of sleep. The results from this study detailed that there was no correlation between the use of a blue light filter and its impact on sleep. However, due to the limitations of the study, namely the minimalistic population and inability to record data at multiple intervals to establish differences in results, there is conflicting results with existing literature. Research produced is applied to real-world context through establishing baseline investigative factors. To further research in this field, a cohort study with data collected at multiple intervals over a longer period of time with a larger cohort will provide more reputable results. No single production of evidence is ever definitive. It requires a critical, cumulative approach, like pieces of a puzzle. The goal of research is to achieve a scientific understanding through critical evaluations of multiple publications and determine best approaches to create effective methods to positively influence change within the scope of the research.